Yeah, good morning, all of you. So, as already we discussed yesterday, in between the presentation and the database, we can configure total 100 application servers. The maximum application servers, the number is 100. In that, the first application server can be called as central instance or primary application server. The second application server can be called as CSI, central service instance, or ASCS. Till ECC, we are calling it as CI, CSI, and DI. But right from NetWeaver, right from HANA, these are primary application servers, ASCS, application server central services, and additional application servers. So the concept is same, but slightly the terminology is changed. So in between the database and the presentation, you will have a application servers. So database, usually you know database, but on top of the database instance should be installed. Database instance should be installed. That means database is quite common. I'm just talking till ECC. Till ECC, Oracle for Java customers, Oracle for SAP customers, the product at the time of releasing is same. But SAP is kind of a enterprise-based software, but Java is something else. That's why the structure and everything should be different. So for that reason, database instance should be installed during the SAP installation. Once the DB is installed, once the database is installed, database instance should be installed before you start the SAP installation. That means by default, whatever the database Oracle has given, by using this database, we need to create our own schemas called ABAP and Java schemas. So that's how the database instance will be created. As already we discussed, yesterday we started message server, gateway server, NQ server, ICM, ITS, and SDM. These are the services, you have it. These are the central services. You may find these services, the highlighted services, in either in the central instance or CSI. Leave the NQ replication server, we'll discuss later. This is not the right time. Next, dialog instance. These are the work process will exist in the dialog instance and the central instance. These are the capabilities of the team member or the dialog instance. So if you have only one instance in your landscape, everything will be there like this. And dialog instance, only dialog instance if you have, you don't find these services, but you will find only these work process. Dialog work process, background work process, update work process, and spool work process. So the minimum number of dialog work process is 2. Maximum we can increase up to 97. Minimum dialog work process is 0. Maximum is 95. Update work process. There are 2 types of update work process. One is for the synchronous updates and another is for the asynchronous updates. Synchronous updates, asynchronous updates. Can anyone answer on this? What is synchronous? Rajesh?
Sir.
What is synchronous update work process? What it will do?
Sir, I have idea about the synchronous RFC and asynchronous RFC, sir.
Okay, leave that. I'm not talking about synchronous RFC or asynchronous. I'm talking about update work process. There are 2 update work process, guys. Synchronous update work process and asynchronous update work process. And there is V3 also. But 99% cases we don't discuss about that. Okay. Even when we are discussing operation modes, I'll explain. But synchronous update work process in the sense, if any of the update command is making changes synchronously in multiple tables, that type of update will handle by synchronous update work process, continuous updates. Okay, I'm changing the phone number of so-and-so employee in the employee database. So how many records will be get updated means only one record will be get updated. That is employee ID, employee number 1326352. So I'm trying to change the employee IDs. Earlier we are having the numbers only 4 numbers we are having it, and we reached 9999, and our management has decided to change the numbers, add one number before the employee ID. So that means they want to make it 5 numbers. Update command is very simple command, but what are the how many tables will be get changed? Is it one table, multiple tables? It is multiple tables. It is a synchronous update. So asynchronous update means only one table or one record or one entry or one field. If it is getting changed, that is asynchronous update job, and that will be handled by asynchronous update work process. And if any of the update command will make the changes in multiple records, that will be handled by synchronous update work process. Synchronous update jobs will handle like this. Got it, guys?
Yes, sir.
Any questions on this, all of you? Okay, that's fine, guys. Next. So these are the parameters, guys. R disk, number of dialog work process. These are the parameters to increase the number or decrease the number. Minimum is 2, maximum is 97. Minimum is 0, maximum is 95. And update, minimum is 1 plus 1, one for asynchronous and another for asynchronous, and maximum we can go up to 97. And spool minimum is 1, and usually companies will maintain only 1, we don't increase it, but if you want, you can increase it. So if you want to check this work process number, you know.
SM13, right, sir? Tico.
Yes,
For
sir.
V1, V2.
So
For
50.
Yeah, for we will run V1, V2. It is okay, right, sir?
Okay.
SM50, right?
SM50 work.
We'll discuss. Wait. I'll come there. Wait. I'll give you all the access by Monday, guys. Next week I'll give you. Okay, see this, guys, all of you. So if you want to see the work process overview,
50.
you know. Okay, see this, guys, all of you. How many dialog work process are there? Total dialog work process are 10. Update 1, update task 2, update task 2. That means synchronous update, asynchronous update. And background 6 work process are there. Spool 1 work process and 1 is free. How many work process are free? How much load is there? What is the average load? Everything we can able to see here. So this is how the work process status we can able to see in the particular instance. So if you go to any instance, guys, like we have only one application server in our landscape that will act as a central instance. So if you go inside, you will get how many work process are there. So as already we discussed, this work process number will be the work process will be different in the different application servers. Probably you may have a different number in the central instance, different number in the dialog instance 2, dialog instance 3, 4, 5. So these numbers can be managed externally in the instance level. So central instance by default some number will get it, and later if you want to increase the number or if you want to decrease the number, anything can be done. Getting, guys?
Yes.
Okay. So now dispatcher, web dispatcher, one by one we'll discuss.
One doubt, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
When we this dialogue work process, it is said that we can keep it from 2 to 97. Minimum should be 2 and maximum should be 97. But most of the time we keep it in all the systems, it is near to 10. So is there any like foundation on how to what is the use of dialogue work, means the number of dialogue work process, means if we keep it more like 9, 80, 50, or how we calculate the number of dialogue work process? Is there any calculation for this?
So one dialog work process will process up to approximately 6 to 10 users approximately per second.
Okay.
Are you getting? Are you getting?
6 users per second.
No, per second, 6 user requests will be handled approximately.
Okay.
Okay, but don't take this value as granted. Okay, this is based on the memory you are using. This is based on the system capacity, and the capacity is planned only on the dialog work process. Background, there is no time limit. Got it?
Okay.
So dialog work process are getting occupied always. That number simply you can increase it. Okay, we can see the calculation, we can see the current workload. If there are no free work process, you are getting some performance issues always, then obviously we can increase the number without any
Yeah,
hesitation.
in one interview question, it was asked to me that if we have 1,000 users, how many work process can we,
By
how many
5.
dialog work process can we
By
use?
5, by 5 we need to keep it. By 5 to 10 we can make it, and that is the approximate number.
Okay, I said him that yeah, we are supporting a bigger system, and I have never seen a system with more than 10 work process.
So the capacity will be planned on the second basis. So even if you have a 1,000 people also per second, how many people are connecting is the concern, right?
Okay, okay.
Got it? It's not on
Yes,
the
yes.
hourly basis or 10 minutes or 20 minutes.
Okay, okay. So
Per second.
processor will also play important role in that.
Exactly, exactly. How many cores are there? I'm just talking about HANA. Leave the ECC part. Okay.
Okay,
In
okay,
HANA,
sir.
how many CPUs are there? How many cores are there? Okay. How many SAPs are there? Okay. How many dialog steps? Especially based on the number of dialog steps getting executed per second. Based on that, number of SAPs will be decided. Based on the number of SAPs, cores will be decided. Based on the cores, CPUs will be decided. Based on the CPUs, your RAM will be decided. Based on the RAM, your work process will be decided. Got it? It's a very big calculation. Are you getting? But blindly, what we can do is we are monitoring the systems frequently, right? So based on the monitoring, if we come to know the work process discrepancy or work process availability, we have some issue, and most of the users are reported some issues on the work process availability, and all the work process are getting occupied frequently, then that number can be increased without any questions. That number can be increased up to maximum limit of 100, and yeah, it's a very good question you asked me, but this will be useful for you while sitting in interview, Okay, the capacity will be planned on the dialog work process. That is accepted. But what about non-dialog? Are you getting, guys? Okay, let me take the example here. In this system, you can see dialog work process 10 are there, but non-dialog work process, how many are there total? Non-dialog, how many are there total?
9.
Approximately 10, correct?
Yes.
See the calculation, guys. Dialog work process 10, non-dialog 10. Got it?
Yeah.
Dialog 10, non-dialog 10.
Mm.
This won't be covered in any of the textbooks, guys. You have to learn from your senior or someone. With experience, you will come to know all these things. Okay. See, listen me. Okay. So today, guys, listen me. Today, based on my manager's requirement or some performance issue is coming up, that's why we have decided to increase dialog work process to 20. We have increased dialog work process to 20. Now you have sufficient dialog work process, but we didn't touch update, background and spool. Now, will you expect the same performance?
No, sir.
Or the performance issues will be resolved?
No, sir.
Okay, how do you say no?
Because when you increase the dialog processes, the workload will be more on the application.
Okay.
I think so. I think the memory consumption also be very high.
That's correct.
So maybe the application get hang out.
Application will hang. Okay. Who is this? Rajesh, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So your answer is correct, but it is not relevant, Rajesh. You know, the RAM, if you are using 1 TB of RAM, 1 TB of RAM, we don't use as it is. Okay, only 30 to 40% of RAM will be dedicated to the application server, and rest of the space will be kept it like this as a unused space. Based on the memory available physically, the capacity will be planned. When you are increasing the work process, okay, 1 GB of RAM will be shared between 3 to 4 work process. 1 GB of RAM will be shared between 3 to 4 people, maximum 5 work process. 5 work process, 1 GB of memory is sufficient. Okay, that is a blind calculation. It's not the exact calculation. But my question is different. Okay, your answer is memory if it is not exhausted. If you don't have memory, we don't increase the number of work process. Are you getting? If you don't have free memory, we don't increase the number work process number. You know, but the memory will be assigned to the application server such a way where 100 work process can be created. That's how it will be created. That's why SAP will say minimum 128 GB RAM. Why do you say minimum 128? Why they need 128? Are you getting? Minimum 128, why we need? Why? Because users may see my room capacity, classroom capacity should be 10 by 10 minimum. Why minimum 10 by 10? At least 10 people should sit here. Correct? I can keep a very small room also, but the minimum number of participants here will be 1 to 10 people will be there. So maximum number will be 10. To keep 10 people here, the classroom size would be 10. Got it, guys?
Yeah.
But you may get only 1 person, 2 people. That's a different part. But the maximum capacity, by considering the memory will be dedicated. Are you clear, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the question what I asked is different. You know, the distribution of the work process will be equal to dialogue and non-dialogue. If one company is following the SAP standards, they will maintain the work process in the equal percentage. Like dialogue, if you have 10, the total number of dialogue work process will be 10 approximately. 1, 2 less or more, that's a different case. But approximately, if you see, if you have 10 dialogue work process, 10 background update and spool will be there. For example, in this case now, I have decided to increase dialogue work process another 10. Now, dialogue work process are 20, but background update and spool work process are less. Now, just imagine the system capacity is increased by increasing the total 10 dialogue work process. More background jobs has come. Okay, just assume 40 dialogue work process is increased, but we didn't touch any background update and spool. That means at a time 40 jobs can be handled. 40 work process means per second 40 jobs will be handled. If you have 40 jobs, just assume there are background jobs, total 40 requests are there in the queue. Why? Because you have 40 work process, pre-work process, but background work process only 6. Without increasing the background update and spool, just increasing the dialogue work process, there is no meaning. Getting, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You have dialogue work process. You have reception area, very big reception area is there. But inside the work area, we don't have the chairs. We don't have the work area for them. So what is the meaning of that? Got it?
Yes, sir.
So, okay, you are increasing the non-dialogue work process, but not the dialogue. Even though there is no meaning. There are free background work process, but user to send a request, to handle the request initially, we need a dialogue work process. If you don't have free dialogue work process also, there is no meaning here. So that means what we can understand is whether it is a dialogue job or a non-dialogue job, by default, it will be handled by the dialogue work process. Then only this will take the help from either background update and spool. So that's why the percentage of work process should be equal. When you are increasing 10 work process to dialogue, 10 dialogue work process you are increasing, that to another 10 number will be added to either background, update or spool, or the percentage in between them you can decide. That is purely your requirement. You got it, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
sir.
Okay, good. Next, any questions, guys?
Sir, I have one question. Sir, actually, here there is a 10 dialog process, right? All 10 dialog. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, all 10 dialog work processes are occupied with users. So now I need to increase the 5 more dialog work process to this application. So for that case, should I increase the background update dialog work process as well, or there is no requirement for that?
No, that's what I said, right? If you want to increase the dialogue work, background work process, background we have 6, another 6 is adding to background. The same number of 6 work process should be added to dialogue also.
Okay, sir.
But from based on the non-dialogue, if you want to increase the dialogue, the same number can be increased in the dialogue. But if you are increasing from dialogue, that number can be distributed between non-dialogue work process. However you want, you can do that.
Okay.
Got it, guys? Are you clear? All of you?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Any questions, guys?
Sir, you told update and update task 2 means synchronous and asynchronous.
Yes.
So in this scenario, update means synchronous, update task 2 means asynchronous, right, sir?
Yes.
Okay, sir. Can you little bit elaborate asynchronous, sir? What is asynchronous update means?
Asynchronous, right? Asynchronous means it's not continuous.
Yes, sir.
It's not continuous. If any update action, if anything is going to update by the update work process in one table or one record or one file, okay, so that is asynchronous. Synchronous means update action is only one, but multiple records will be updated. Sometimes it's a frequent updates, sometimes event specific updates. If you have any updates like this, then it will be handled by the synchronous update work process.
Okay, sir.
Next, guys, any other questions? Okay.
You said that depends upon percentage wise you can set the background process and dialog box process. Then how to set that percentage? How much we to give to update workflow and spool workflow process? How much to we give? It depends upon dialog box.
Okay. I didn't get your question.
If dialog process we give 10, right?
Dialogue
Depends upon,
process, right?
yes, dialog process.
Uh-huh.
We give 10.
Mm-hmm.
So depends upon percentage wise you can add to the background process and spool process you said.
Mm-hmm.
So how much percentage wise we have to give?
No, that's what I told you already. There is no fixed formula on this. Based on the number of background work process you are getting, based on the load on the update, based on the load on the spool, that number can be distributed. And sometimes, okay, you are added 3 work process to background, 3 work process to update, and spool another 4 is added, for example. But tomorrow you have some issue, background work process we need more. Then simply from update we can add it there. It is very, the switching is possible. Like update work process can be converted to background anytime. From update to background anytime we can convert this. So the switching, whenever you want, you can do that. Internal switching anytime we can do it. So there is no fixed formula like the distribution between non-dialogue, how you can do it. But if you are working in this project for a long time and how many background jobs are getting generated and Is there any background job related issues you are getting up or update related? And what if you increase another 4 work process, will this be sufficient? That you need to plan it. Suddenly, if you come and if you try to increase the work process, you don't get it. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So there is no fixed formula, guys. That is a problem here. There is no fixed formula. There is a common sense will play the major role here. Common sense and your analysis will play the major role. Got it?
Yes.
Okay. Next. So as already we discussed, message server will be used for the internal communication and a gateway will be used for the external communication. And dialog request approximately, as I told you, each and every work process will handle 5 to 6 jobs or user requests per second. Per second, approximately 5 to 6 jobs, in the sense 5 to 6 user requests. Those are the dialog steps also, we can say in the simple terms. So if you have 100 dialog work process, how many users it will support per second? So the capacity is 600 user requests per second. But 600 users requests per second means probably if you have more than 10,000 people working on SAP, then hardly 1,000 people may log into the system in a second's time. But even though these work process will take hardly 600 to 720 milliseconds of time to process one user request. 600 to 720 milliseconds of time to process one user request. That is the capacity. So if one job is taking more than 720 milliseconds of time, then there is a time frame for this. So if any job is taking more than this particular time, 1 hour time, then the job will be terminated. So that will be decided based on the parameter. So that's why dialog jobs, it's very fast, quick, milliseconds, hundreds of jobs will be completed. If I ask you, what's your name? My name is Ramesh. That's a dialog job. That's an interactive request. So based on the, if you have 10,000 people, it's not the meaning 10,000 by 5. 10,000 by 5 in the sense 2,000 work process should be needed. It's not like that. But 10,000 people really they are connecting per second in a 9 hours of job or 8 hours of job per second. What is the exact workload? If you come to know, based on that we can increase the number of work process or we can decrease the number of work process. Getting guys, based on the head count, we don't increase the work process. Gautam, for your question.
Yes, sir, I got it.
It is not
So
based
it is
on
totally
the head count. Per second, how many requests are getting generated? First, try to find out the exact workload on the second basis on average. Got it?
Okay, sir.
Okay. So that's what that's how the request will be created. But non-dialog, there is no fixed time frame.
Sir, there is one more thing. If you go to SM50 T code, there is average load mentioned there. What is that?
This is the load, average load in seconds.
Yeah, and that is a three columns are there, three data.
One is the total, free and average load. Average load we can see here. Okay, see.
Okay.
So here there are 3 calculations here. Total, free and average load. Total, average and free load. So here average load will be calculated on each work process. How many requests are getting generated? That is the average load. If you have 10 work process, what is the average load? Approximately only one job approximately we are getting. Why? Because I'm only one person working on the system. Okay, so this will be calculated, and background update and spool, you can see not even a 1 per second, even hardly in a minute or in 1 hour, hardly 1-2 jobs are getting generated. Okay, this will discuss in the monitoring concept. Okay, In
Okay.
detail, we'll discuss. All these numbers you should know. Okay, got it, guys?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
So, any questions on the ABAP stack part? We are done with the ABAP stack. So, spool all the print requests and all the print requests we can say.
RFC
Any of,
request.
pardon?
RFC request is also processed by spool.
Anything which is synchronous and spool is getting generated, our output wants to generate, in any case, the spool work process is needed for that. But major usage of the spool work process will be done in the printing. And if any output is generated, if any output is there in the system, our user wants output on any of the transaction or anything, the spool request will be generated. So these kind of requests will be handled by spool work process. Getting, guys?
Yes, sir.
So background jobs will handle background jobs in the sense like time taking interactive jobs only. But if any of the dialogue job is taking more than the expected time, it will be handled by the background work process. If any of the job is taking long time, number one, and I want to schedule one job now, and every day evening 5:30 or 6 o'clock, the job should execute without any user interruption. So then that job will be handled by the background work process. And periodic job. Weekly, some jobs will be get executed in the system, but user only one time we can schedule. But whenever the time has come, particularly the system has to take care of that job. And event specific. If memory is exhausted, run this job. If CPU utilization is more, run this housekeeping activity. Like that, any job you can execute in the system for one time, and those jobs will be get executed whenever they want it. So these kind of jobs will be handled by update work process. So interactive jobs will be handled by dialogue work process. Non-interactive jobs will be handled by background, update, and spool. Non-interactive, again, if it is a background job, user is executing a backup. Backup means it's a background job. Or not only backup, anything. Okay, so which is executing from a long time and user intervention is not needed, which is scheduled, we can schedule with the background work process. Getting, guys? And next, update. Update already I have explained, synchronous and spooling is for the print request. So this is about your ABAP stack, guys. So only one thing, yeah, even we discussed ICM and ITS also, but we'll discuss more about ICM and ITS in Java stack part. Tomorrow we'll discuss. Now the next meeting we'll discuss. Got it, guys?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
Java
sir.
stack I'm not touching today. If I start, then I need to complete. Okay, so the next meeting we'll do it. Even Java stack, in fact, the guys who are going to work with S4HANA, we don't want to know anything. But anyhow, it's a learning, right? We don't know what kind of project we'll get it. You may get it ECC project only. We don't know. So that's why Java stack also, the architecture and couple of administration activities, we can do it. Got it, guys?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so have a nice weekend, guys. We'll meet on Monday. In the weekends, if you guys are free, just let me know. I'll try to take the class either on Saturday or Sunday. But one day I'll try to take it if
Okay.
you guys are free. But just drop me a message in WhatsApp if you guys are available. Otherwise, let's meet on Monday.
On Saturday
Okay, sir.
morning, we can plan like the way we are continuing, say 8:30 to 9:30.
No, it's up to you. I'm okay with that. But you guys decide and let me know in the groups.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir. Bye, sir.